So I'm going to talk about Anthony Broadwater and Alice Seabold. And you need to watch the clip that comes up next. Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with people in this world. There really is. Watch the clip, and then I'll have a chat about that.
I'm not going to, sully these proceedings by saying I'm sorry. That doesn't cut it. This should never have happened. And I will say to Mr. Broadwater that I assure him that it will never happen again. That we will never let junk science into a courtroom in this county.
I think as Mr. Fitzpatrick has pointed out, Mr. Broadwater cannot get those 16 years back. But based upon my review of the motions and the representations of counsel, this court grants defendant's motion. They take his conviction and the indictment is hereby dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
That concludes the proceeding.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
I couldn't help but cry. The relief that a district attorney of that magnitude would side with me concerning this case is so profound. I did everything I could do to always show people that, hey, I'm never that type of guy. I never could be that type of guy. A lot of doors been slammed in my face for jobs. She wanted children. I wouldn't bring children in the world because of this. And now we're past the age we can't have children.
Ruined his life. His life has been ruined over this, not just incarceration, but wrongfully being labeled a sex offender. These are things that he will never get back. An astonishingly simple case of injustice.
So yeah, where do you start with that? And first of all, the guy was released in 1999. He's now being exonerated. Alice Seabold was raped. We don't know by who. And there aren't any details that I can see about what happened and when it happened as such. Obviously, there's dates. But this came about because an executive who was doing research on the book, because they were turning it into a film, noticed that the story in her book Lucky didn't match what was said had happened. She had omitted details from the book. So he sent a private investigator to have a look at it. And fair play to that guy. Fair play to him. Because that led to a new investigation which got the trial overturned, and 16 years in prison, you can't get that back. But 22 years after he'd served that, he was now like, look, you never did this. Served 16 years in prison for something you never did. And another 22 years later before somebody comes along and says, we got this wrong. It never happened, you didn't do it. The guy's been on the child sex register since his release. God knows who's disowned him. Friends, family. God knows in his family who died believing he was guilty. Could never look him in the eyes again. And no matter how many times he told them that he was innocent, how many people just couldn't believe him. Because this is the problem when you're wrongly accused and wrongly convicted of something. No matter how much you tell everybody, look, it's a mistake, I didn't do it, I'm innocent, the court convicted you. You served time. Everybody believes you're a rapist. Everybody believes you're guilty. And that just can't be undone. It can't be taken back. And he even says, look, if her apology is sincere, he forgives her. I mean, I don't... Do you know what the reality is if that had happened to me, you, or anyone else? there's a possibility we would be in the same place he is today, because it's that experience that moulded who he is and the decision he made, and his ability to forgive her or accept the apology, as he said, if it's heartfelt and sincere. But could he's learned to live with that? He's learned to live with the guilt of his innocence, if that's even a thing. But that is appalling. And what's worse is Alice Seabold has made a name and a living. I mean, and it's hard because I don't want to beat her down too much, because the woman was raped originally. She was actually raped. No one has disputed that she was raped. But there was insufficient evidence that it was Anthony who did this. And when put on the stand, she identified him as a rapist after she couldn't identify him in a police lineup. She sent him to prison for 16 years for something he did not do to her. And where do you go with that? On one hand, she was raped. But the wrong man has been punished for the crime against you. And the only reason he was released is because you left parts out of your book that didn't add up. So the producer from Netflix, who was looking into this, sent a private investigator to look into it, because he realised your story didn't add up. Which must mean that you knew it wasn't him, or you had your doubts. But what, you were so filled with hate that somebody just had to take the fall? You had to convict somebody? I'm just going to say to Anthony Broadwater, sir, I live in the UK and I commentate on these things, and so I'm sorry that happened to you. And if you have faith, if you believe in God, then I hope that there's some comfort for you, because you damn well deserve it.